Welcome, Didi. Welcome, Kim, Jayantha. Very good, Didi. Keep doing mindful eating. All right. Welcome, Jay. Let's get started. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Apicchayasayang dhammo nyayang dhammo mahicchassa. Santuttasayang dhammo nyayang dhammo asantuttassa. Pavivittasayang dhammo nyayang dhammo sanganikaramassa. Araddhaviriyasayang dhammo nyayang dhammo kusitassa. Upattitasattisayang dhammo nyayang dhammo mutassatissa. Sammahitasayang dhammo nyayang dhammo asamahitassa. Panyavato ayang dhammo nyayang dhammo dupanyassa. Nippapancharamasayang dhammo nippapancharatino nyayang dhammo papancharamassa papancharinato. English. 8 great noble thoughts. This Dhamma is for reducing desire, not for increasing desire. This Dhamma is for increasing contentment, not for increasing discontentment. This Dhamma is for cultivating seclusion, not for becoming sociable. This Dhamma is for becoming energetic, not for becoming lazy. This Dhamma is for developing mindfulness, not for developing unmindfulness. This Dhamma is for developing composure, not for making restlessness. This Dhamma is for increasing wisdom, not for decreasing wisdom. This Dhamma is delighting in freedom from impediments, not for delighting in freedom from impediments. Hello, Michelle. Welcome. All right, friends. Is this the same Michelle from Insight Timer? Or is this somebody new? Welcome, everybody, to Dhammapalooza, the Monday night festival of Dhamma with the Maggaseka community, and we usually get started with okay, I suspected as much. We usually get started with our meditation now. So set your body up in a comfortable and stable position, whatever posture works for you, whether you're sitting on a cushion, couch, etc. Most of you have heard my guided meditations multiple times over, so start with doing a mindful scan of the body. I don't need to guide you through that. Starting from the feet, moving up to the head. And then, when you're ready, move to following the breath. Now let's practice a contemplation. The Buddha taught us to practice sila nusati, reflection, contemplating our goodness, our good deeds. So spend some time thinking about good actions you've done in the past, whether that is last week or 20 years ago. Contemplate how you felt doing the action, the results of that action, the benefits of the action, etc. This doesn't also need to be some kind of big grand action. It could be something small. Everybody shouldn't have too much trouble finding something. But if that's the case, then this can be a sign that you need to do more good deeds. So spend some time contemplating your good deeds. This is not meant to be a way of boosting your self-image or anything like that. The Buddha knew that we naturally incline towards a negative, critical, fault-finding mind. This is why there's no micca nusati, reflecting on your bad deeds, because your mind does that naturally, automatically. But it can forget about and overlook your good deeds. So practice sila nusati. Contemplate your good deeds from childhood to now. For the remaining part of the meditation, practice reflecting on gratitude, reflecting on the things in your life that you have done, that you're grateful that you did them. This is similar to Sila Nusati, or gratitude towards what others have done to you or for you. Reflect on gratitude and what you are grateful for, or at the very least, if you're not grateful, what you should be grateful for. Slowly open your eyes, becoming aware of the room around you and your body's position in it. Reflecting on the state of your mind before and after the meditation, and contemplating any experiences that stood out. And welcome, friends, to Dhammapalooza. I see Visakha is with us. You watched a TV show on Disney called Limitless. It was about a guy who went to South Korea and did a bunch of prostrations. Okay. Did it help his pain? I've never heard of this. The only Limitless I know is some movie from like 17 years ago where a guy takes a new pill and it unlocks his brain or something. That was a long time ago. All right, friends. So we have the ability to do any questions. So if you have any questions for me, please type them in the chat. I'll hang out for a little bit and see if there's any questions. And if no questions, then we'll read sutta as we normally do. I'll probably go at least the hour today, but that might be it. We had a very successful, nice retreat this past weekend, Satipatthana retreat, and a good bunch, a good retreating crew. And but I'm still kind of tired. I'm still recuperating, and I didn't have a full night's sleep last night, so I'm a little beat. Dhammapalooza does tend to suffer because of that. Are monks allowed to do physical exercise like running or yoga or Tai Chi? Sure, yeah. Well, running is, no, not, I mean, yoga, Tai Chi, things like that, yes. Running is not going to be one of those things because it's, running in robes does not work out very well. It's not very dignified looking either. Most of the things that exercise-wise monks can do, they have a wide variety of things. Can use weights, use machines. I use jump rope and body weight stuff, high intensity, whatever kind of stuff. But it's usually just stuff that you can do in private. You don't really do it in front of other people or with other people. A lay person is almost never going to see a monk doing exercise unless, like you did a work period with me at Bhavana Society and we lugged wood together. Then you saw me do a lot of exercise. I did my hour of woodwork every day, cutting, splitting, seasoning, lugging, all that kind of stuff. Then we did lots of exercise. Yeah, there's no problem. Actually, it's good that in places like Thailand, where monks get fed really good food and don't really have much activity, exercise, there's an obesity epidemic in Thailand. Even me, I'm just, if I'm like here with my father in my families or when I'm after this for 2 months, probably January, February, I'll be with my Indonesian friends in New York City. Both of these places I have to worry about gaining weight just from literally eating my one meal a day because of the food and everything. So, so I have to kind of make sure that I get some exercise in and do that kind of stuff. So, yeah, no problem. Monks can exercise. It's good for you, especially if you're not living in the forest and doing like real work every day. I'm hoping in, 6 or 7 years I'll be in on my forest monastery property in Colorado or wherever, and I'll be living in a little yurt and maybe doing some woodwork, and I'll be almost 60. Get some good exercise in, keep me young. We'll see. Dee Dee asks, how do you keep from making assumptions about what others thinking when approaching people in public? I'm going to assume this is assuming / making assumptions about what others are thinking when approaching people in public situations. Well, I think one of the reflections that you can kind of, when you notice this is happening, you just tell yourself, you're not a mind reader. You don't know what's in their mind. And you're just going to be frustrated. You're just going to cause yourself suffering trying to figure it out because you don't know. So there's no use in wasting energy, mental energy doing this. And as you become confident in the path and your sila is good and all that, you don't care what other people think either. It's just, well, whatever they think, that's their perception. I have no control over the perceptions of others. I can only react to their actions. Their perception is their own. Welcome to those who are joining us. If you have any questions, you can type them in the chat. There's no questions that pop up in the next minute or so. I think we'll go to reading sutta. What cravings, if any, go through your mind while meditating? Are we done yet? That's always a big one. Maybe the big one. Are we done yet? Or another one for me would be like, man, I wish I didn't have breathing issues. Or I wish I had set up my posture better. These kind of things. I don't know. It's mostly I can't say that I have like lots of cravings that go through me, but like the average person, and especially a beginning meditator, obviously you have lots of cravings that arise. For me, it depends on my energy level, am I grumpy or not, all that kind of stuff. But mostly it's just sit and try to follow the breath. And if my mind is inclining towards something after the meditation, well, I investigate that. What's so important that you gotta be thinking about it while you're just trying to chill out, sitting on the cushion? It's almost nothing is that important, unless it's a life and death situation or something like that. Do I miss anything from lay life? No, not really. At least not anywhere near enough for me to want to go back to lay life. I mean, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I like the monastic life. In you know, almost in 9 years of being a fully ordained monk, I can't think of one time where I like seriously thought about disrobing. I mean, even in, dark times when my muddle mind and little, depression and things like that, and I even did things like, watch a movie or, whatever, use an entertainment as a monk. That was only just like falling back on an old habit. It wasn't like oh, I wish I could go to the movies or what, it wasn't like that, I fall back on old habits from lay life sometimes. Um, but when I'm kind of back in the saddle with a clear mind, it's just like, okay, I don't need that. So, nope, I can't think of anything that I miss from lay life. All right. Why don't we read MN 16, hard-heartedness. So I have heard, at one time the Buddha was staying near Savatthi in Jeta's Grove, Anathapindika's monastery. There, the Buddha addressed the mendicants. Mendicants, Venerable Sir, they replied. The Buddha said this: Mendicants, when a mendicant has not given up the 5 kinds of hard-heartedness and severed the 5 shackles of the heart, it is not possible for them to achieve growth, improvement, or maturity in the teaching and training. What are the 5 kinds of hard-heartedness they haven't given up? Firstly, a mendicant has doubts about the teacher. They're uncertain, undecided, lacking confidence. This being so, their mind doesn't incline towards keenness, commitment, persistence, and striving. This is the first kind of hard-heartedness they haven't given up. Furthermore, a mendicant has doubts about the teaching. This is the second kind of hard-heartedness. They have doubts about the Sangha. This is the third kind of hard-heartedness. They have doubts about the training. This is the fourth kind of hard-heartedness. Furthermore, a mendicant is angry and upset with their spiritual companions, resentful and closed off. This being so, their mind doesn't incline towards keenness, commitment, persistence, and striving. This is the fifth kind of hard-heartedness they haven't given up. These are the 5 kinds of hard-heartedness they haven't given up. What are the 5 shackles of the heart that they haven't severed? Firstly, a mendicant isn't free of greed, desire, fondness, thirst, passion, and craving for sensual pleasures. This being so, their mind doesn't incline towards keenness, commitment, persistence, and striving. This is the first shackle of the heart they haven't severed. Furthermore, a mendicant isn't free of greed for the body. This is the second shackle. Furthermore, a mendicant isn't free of greed for form. This is the third. They eat as much as they like until their belly is full, then indulge in the pleasures of sleeping, lying down, and drowsing. This is the fourth heart shackle. They lead the spiritual life hoping to be reborn in one of the orders of gods, thinking, by this precept or observance or fervent austerity or spiritual life may I become one of the gods. This being so, their mind doesn't incline towards keenness, commitment, persistence, and striving. This is the fifth shackle of the heart they haven't severed. These are the 5 shackles of the heart that they haven't severed. When a mendicant has not given up these 5 kinds of hard-heartedness and severed these 5 shackles of the heart, it's not possible for them to achieve growth, improvement, or maturity in this teaching and training. When a mendicant has given up these 5 kinds of hard-heartedness and severed these 5 shackles of the heart, it is possible for them to achieve growth, improvement, and maturity in this teaching and training. What are the 5 kinds of hard-heartedness they've given up? Firstly, a mendicant has no doubts about the teacher. They're not uncertain, undecided, or lacking in confidence. This being so, their mind inclines towards keenness, commitment, persistence, and striving. This is the first kind of hard-heartedness they've given up. Furthermore, a mendicant has no doubts about the teaching, no doubts about the sangha, no doubts about the training. They're not angry and upset with their spiritual companions or resentful or closed off. This being so, their mind inclined towards keenness, commitment, persistence, and striving. This is the 5th kind of hard-heartedness they've given up. These are the 5 kinds of hard-heartedness they've given up. What are the 5 shackles of the heart they've severed? Firstly, a mendicant is rid of greed, desire, fondness, thirst, passion, and craving for sensual pleasures. This being so, their mind inclined towards keenness, commitment, persistence, and striving. This is the first shackle of the heart that they've severed. Furthermore, a mendicant is rid of greed for the body. They're rid of greed for form. They don't eat as much as they like until their belly is full, then indulge in the pleasures of sleeping down and drowsing. They don't need to lead the spiritual life hoping to be reborn in one of the orders of gods, thinking by this precept and observance or fervent austerity or spiritual life, may I become one of the gods. This is a funny thing in the suttas in the Vinaya. You will see monks basically mock each other. Like if they find out that one of the monks is like, leading the holy life, for the sake of heaven, basically. They're like, oh, he's leading the holy life for the sake of heaven. It's like a gentle, it's a guy thing. This is what guys do to each other. They kind of like to get you out of something that is not that good or not is why you should be doing something. They'll rib you for it. Like, this monk, he's doing it for heaven, he's doing it for this, where everybody else is trying to become awakened, etc., right? So it is quite clear in the suttas that going for heaven is a good layperson goal. It is not a good monastic goal. Right? And unfortunately, these days, with the prevalent belief that nobody can become awakened, this is actually probably what most monks are looking for in the Buddhist world today. So, but in the suttas, doesn't work out. It's not good. Your fellow monastics will kindly rip into you if that's your goal. Hello, Gregory. Welcome. This being so, their mind inclined towards keenness, commitment, persistence, and striving. This is the fifth shackle of the heart that they've severed. These are the 5 shackles of the heart that they've severed. When a mendicant has given up on these 5 kinds of hard-heartedness and severed these 5 shackles of the heart, it is possible for them to achieve growth, improvement, or maturity in this teaching and training. They develop the basis of psychic power, that is, has immersion due to enthusiasm and active support. The basis of psychic power that has immersion due to energy and active effort. Basis of psychic power that has immersion due to mental development and active effort. The basis of psychic power that has immersion due to inquiry and active effort. And the 5th is sheer vigor. A mendicant who possesses these 15 factors, including vigor, is capable of breaking out, becoming awakened, and reaching the supreme sanctuary from the yoke. Suppose there was a chicken with 8 or 10 or 12 eggs, and she properly sat on them to keep them warm and incubated. Even if that chicken doesn't wish, if only my chicks could break out of the eggshell with their claws and break and hatch safely. Still, they can break out and hatch safely. In the same way, a mendicant who possesses these 15 factors, including vigor, is capable of breaking out, becoming awakened, and reaching the supreme sanctuary from the yoke. That is what the Buddha said. Satisfied, the mendicants approved of what the Buddha said. All right. All right, friends. Any comments, questions, clarifications? All right, why don't we read some Dhammapada, and then I think we'll call it a night. DDS, will you still do MME and Dhammapalooza when in New York? Yes, I do. Wherever I stay, I usually bring my laptop and I do all my streams and things like that. The only exception is if, like, in the past, if I've come to Colorado for like a week or two, I usually don't, or something like that. Or if I'm going to a monastery where I'm, it's secluded, I'm not going to be doing any streaming. But basically wherever I go for like a month or two at least, I'll always bring my laptop. I'll always do stream. All my regular stuff continues no matter where I am. So, yeah. So we finished out Dhammapada last week. We're back again in the beginning. Mind precedes all mental states. Mind is their chief. they are all mind-wrought. If with an impure mind a person seeks or acts, suffering follows him like the wheel that follows the foot of the ox. Mind precedes all mental states. Mind is their chief. They are all mind-wrought. If with a pure mind a person speaks or acts, happiness follows him like his never-departing shadow. He abused me, he struck me, he overpowered me, he robbed me. Those who harbor such thoughts do not still their hatred. He abused me, he struck me, he overpowered me, he robbed me. Those who do not harbor such thoughts still their hatred. Hatred is never appeased by hatred in this world. Only by non-hatred alone, by non-hatred alone is hatred appeased. This is a law eternal. There are those who do not realize that one day we all must die. But those who do realize this settle their quarrels. Just as a storm throws down a weak tree, so does Mara overpower the man who lives for the pursuit of pleasures, who is uncontrolled in his senses, immoderate in eating, indolent, and dissipated. Just as a storm cannot prevail against a rocky mountain, so Mara can never overpower the man who lives meditating on the impurities, who is controlled in his senses, moderate in eating, and filled with faith and earnest effort. Whoever being depraved, devoid of self-control and truthfulness, should don the monk's yellow robe, he surely is not worthy of the robe. But whoever is purged of depravity, well established in virtues and filled with self-control and truthfulness, he indeed is worthy of the yellow robe. Those who mistake the essential, mistake the unessential as the essential, and the essential to be unessential, dwelling in wrong thought, never arrive at the essential. Those who know the essential to be essential and the unessential to be unessential, dwelling in right thought, do arrive at the essential. Just as rain breaks through an ill-thatched house, so passion penetrates an undeveloped mind. Just as rain does not break through a well-thatched house, so passion never penetrates a well-developed mind. The evildoer grieves here and the hereafter. He grieves in both worlds. He laments and is afflicted, recollecting his own impure deeds. The doer of good rejoices here and hereafter. He rejoices in both worlds. He rejoices and exults, recollecting his own pure deeds. The evildoer suffers here and hereafter. He suffers in both worlds. The thought, evil have I done, torments him, and he suffers even more when gone to the realms of woe. The doer of good delights here and hereafter. He delights in both worlds. The thought, good have I done, delights him, and he delights even more when gone to realms of bliss. Much though he recites the sacred texts, but acts not accordingly, that heedless man is like a cowherd who only counts the cows of others. He does not partake in the blessings of the holy life. Little though he recites the sacred text, but puts the teachings into practice, forsaking lust, hatred, and delusion, with true wisdom and emancipated mind, clinging to nothing of this or any other world, he indeed partakes of the blessings of the holy life. All right, friends. I think we can call it. So for those of you who are joining for the first time or watching this later for the first time, and you'd like to find out more about myself and the organization Magga Seika, you can go to the website listed on the screen, maggaseka.org, maggaseka.org. This is my headquarters. This is where you find out all information and all the various writings and stuff that you can find from me, and all news related to Maggaseka, the organization itself as well. Well, Visakha, you'll only learn if you keep investigating. And keep recollecting the gratification, the danger, and the escape. Then you will learn. It might take a couple lifetimes. But keep practicing. Okay, friends. Sukhi Hotu, may you be happy and at ease. Practice well and be well, and may you have a spiritually successful and peaceful practice until we meet again, which could be tomorrow morning for Morning Monastery Experience at 8 a.m. New York time. Or if I'm alive next week, then next Monday for another Dhammapalooza. So have a good week.